Welcome to episode 114, Jeff Bezos, Part 1, The Early Years of Amazon. This is an outline of episode 114. There are 4 reasons why we study Jeff Bezos. First, in 2017, he's the most feared entrepreneur in the world, as dozens of brick-and-mortar retailers go out of business. Second, he's the founder of Amazon. Third, he's the second richest man in the world and only inches away from Bill Gates. Fourth, he's one of the greatest entrepreneur and inventor of all time. Let us meet 53-year-old Jeff Bezos.
Did I kind of anticipate what would happen over the last 22 years at Amazon? And the answer is God, no. So, Amazon started as a very small company. It was me and a few other people. I was driving all the packages to the post office myself in my 1987 Chevy Blazer.
Jeff Bezos was born Jeffrey Preston Jorgensen in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 1964.
Jeffrey Preston Bezos was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico on January 12, 1964, to Jackie Guys, a 17-year-old high school student.
Here's the location of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Guys divorced his biological father and married Miguel Bezos, a Cuban immigrant and petroleum engineer for Exxon. Miguel adopted 4-year-old Bezos in 1968.
This is young Jeff Bezos.
Bezos described his early computer experience in a 2001 interview with the Academy of Achievement.
There was a company in Houston that had loaned excess mainframe computer time to this little elementary school. None of the teachers knew how to operate this computer, nobody did, but there was a stack of manuals, and me and a couple of other kids stayed after class and learned how to program this thing.
As a young boy, I'd been a garage inventor. I'd invented an automatic gate closer out of cement-filled tires, a solar cooker that didn't work very well out of an umbrella and aluminum foil, baking pan alarms to entrap my siblings. I'd always wanted to be an inventor, and she wanted me to follow my passion.
In 1986, he graduated from Princeton University, summa cum laude, with degrees in electrical engineering and computer science.
His first job, from 1986 to 1988, he worked for a startup called Phyto, which was bought by Japanese investors.
Well, 3 years ago, I was in New York City working for a quantitative hedge fund when I came across the startling statistic that web usage was growing at 2,300% a year. So I decided I would try and find a business plan that made sense in the context of that growth.
I just turned 30 years old, and I'd been married for a year. I told my wife, Mackenzie, that I wanted to quit my job and go do this crazy thing that probably wouldn't work, since most startups don't, and I wasn't sure what would happen after that. Mackenzie, also a Princeton grad and sitting here in the second row, told me I should go for it.
Another factor greatly favorable to e-commerce company was a law passed by the U.S. Supreme Court, which exempted mail-order companies from collecting sales tax in states where they lack a physical presence.
You could see that there was this technological tsunami that was arriving, that was going to disintermediate, that was going to create new distribution channels, reset economics, change the way we bought and sold. And the question was, which domain shall we apply it to?
And I picked books as the first best product to sell online, which are making a list of like 20 different products that you might be able to sell. And books were great as the first best because books are incredibly unusual in one respect, and that is that there are more items in the book category than there are items in any other category by far. Music is number 2. There are about 200,000 active music CDs at any given time. But in the book space, there are more than 3 million different books worldwide active and in print at any given time across all languages, more than 1.5 million in English alone.
His first investors? His parents.
My dad's first question was, what's the internet? Okay, so he wasn't making a bet on this company or this concept. He was making a bet on his son.
In the summer of 1994, Jeff Bezos and his wife Mackenzie headed to Washington State, armed with $300,000 from his parents. He dubbed the company Amazon. after the seemingly endless South American river with its countless tributaries. On July 16, 1995, Amazon.com opened its virtual doors to the public.
How Amazon fought off book giant Barnes & Nobles. Here's the stats. 150 Amazon employees versus 30,000 Barnes & Noble's employees.
When we were Amazon.toast, that was because Barnes & Noble had, we only had 100 and, when we were declared Amazon.toast, I think we had 150 employees. Barnes & Noble had 30,000 employees. And somebody wrote an article that said, Amazon has had a great 2-year run, but now the big boys have shown up and they're going to steamroll them. And, we had a all-hands meeting. I called all 150 employees together. I said, look, because everybody's worried about it. Every employee has read the Amazon.toast article. And so we had an all-hands meeting, and I said, look, you should wake up worried, terrified every morning, but don't be worried about our competitors, because they're never going to send us any money anyway. Let's be worried about our customers.
There were 2 mantras in the early days of Amazon. First, get big fast. Second, land grab.
Get big fast was both a mantra and very much a strategic decision on Jeff's part.
There really was this sense of urgency around capturing e-commerce market share, this internet land grab that was taking place. How do we establish the Amazon brand and grow the overall business?
What we are, first of all, we want to be Earth's most customer-centric company. So we think of ourselves as a customer company. We want our brand to be known for this abstract notion of starting with the customer and working backwards. I think those abstract brands provide more flexibility and robustness than brands that are associated with concrete things like product categories.
The fledgling Amazon.com had no advertising budget. Initial sales were generated solely by word of mouth.
Different about Amazon really from the beginning. They weren't in Silicon Valley. They were in Seattle. They weren't really into the whole hype of the bubble. They weren't putting out press releases every single day.
Amazon went IPO in 1997.
On May 15, 1997, the stock began trading on the NASDAQ stock market at $29.25 a share, nearly $12 higher than its offering price.
One of Amazon's first innovation, one-click.
Introducing features like one-click shopping, Amazon continued their frantic expansion, hiring more than 7,000 employees and beefing up their product line.
Jeff Bezos' high point was 1999. He was Time Magazine's Person of the Year.
The expanded product line and high-volume sales paid off for both Amazon.com and Bezos. On December 20th, 1999, he was anointed Time Magazine's Person of the Year.
It made my mom cry, and parents are always proud, and that feels.
During the dot-com bust years, Amazon stock went from $100 to $6. That was a 94% drop in stock value. Jeff Bezos had to lay off workers.
I think there'll be a lot of categories, and even some of the categories that initially fail, like furniture and pets, both of which we were major investors in, will fail, and then they'll come back again.
Today, I'm overseeing some deliveries for Pets.com, purely in an advisory role. I hope they're home. Oh, wow, you cats hit the jackpot. There's enough food here to feed a lion.
What have I learned today? Like all startups, there were years of working out of garage and fighting established book giants. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your comments and questions below. My next video will be Jeff Bezos, The Road to Global Domination. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.